welcome to this cooking demonstration with Heleen and myself. We called this one Plant-iful Plates because we're going to talk about new initiatives that we have. But my name is Stonor. I'm the social media and events lead for Doctors for Nutrition. And this is Heleen.
I'm Heleen Haitjema. I'm the co-founder of Doctors for Nutrition and chair of the board.
Yeah. And we do cooking demonstrations like this quite often. We're doing them for DFN. You'll find them on our YouTube channel. We've got some recordings already.
Yeah.
But I do them through, I have a little side business called Just Eat Plants, and I do cooking classes and demos, and I do things at schools as well with children. And Heleen, you do it as well?
I do Food for Life courses in Adelaide, where I live, in person. And there are 5-week courses where I explain the science behind whole food plant-based eating. And every night I do a cooking demonstration with 3 different recipes and tasting. So lots of cooking going on.
Yeah, and lots of eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Now we want to keep this fairly informal. So if you have questions, you're welcome to unmute yourself. As you come in, you're automatically muted because, you know, there's dogs barking in the background and sometimes people are sneezing or coughing. So that's probably the best way to be. But if you want to ask a question, either write it in the chat, and one of my colleagues is in the background, Louisa, she'll call it out, or Karen's there as well. She's in New Zealand. And yeah, have a question at any time, please. If we want to chat, you know, like just imagine you're here in my kitchen with us. And we can talk about food as we go along. So,
and are there people cooking along tonight?
Yeah, a few people were asking for ingredients lists. So we did send out an email with a link to the recipes where you can look at all the ingredients, but also a prep list. So I don't know if you can see our bench here, but we've got a whole lot of things already prepared. It just makes the whole session go a lot smoother.
It has a name, huh? When you have everything prepared, which works really well when you cook. It's called mise en place, and so that means that you are not. Sometimes you start overcooking certain components because you are not ready yet with preparing other components. So that's why this is the official way to do it.
It is, and when we're doing things like this, I make sure we have everything prepared.
Yeah.
I don't always cook like that at home, and sometimes I might burn the onions or something because I'm not prepared, and I always think I should have taken the time beforehand to do it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always good advice. Now, so I guess we should talk about what we're doing today. Doctors for Nutrition is launching a new fundraising initiative called Plant-iful Plates for a purpose. It's a way of bringing together friends and family or work colleagues, sharing a whole food plant-based meal with them and asking them in return to bring a donation. So we think this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to host one myself here in Adelaide. And yeah, it's we've got a website. Louisa might be able to share the link. We'll talk about this at the end a little bit more as well. It has basically some instructions of how you can go about it. We have this document. It's a bit of a guide on our website that you can download. It's fantastic. It goes through why we've decided to do it. We probably should let you know too, most of you may already know, that Doctors for Nutrition is an independent charity, and we are only funded by donations and small grants that we might get occasionally. So we can only do our work. We don't have any industry funding, and we avoid medical or drug company funding. So yeah, we want to sort of keep it unbiased information.
So we are supported by people that, like us, want to bring the message across to other people how important it is to eat whole food plant-based.
Yeah. So this guide has some step-by-step instructions of how you can invite your family, friends, or colleagues. We've got in here a bit of a template of how you can email people, either if it's family or friends. I mean, these could be people that are already plant-based themselves and you want to bring them in to have a community sort of gathering. They could be work colleagues. There may be people who have never heard about whole food plant-based diets before, and it'll be a great education experience for them. So there's a bit of a guide there of how to do that. There's a guide here on how you can collect the donations and a few links there that will help you. And also New Zealand, all of the donations are tax deductible. And in New Zealand, we have New Zealand bank accounts, so that helps. And yeah, there's also
And also tax deductible in
Yeah.
New Zealand.
we have a guide. This is a flyer that we've prepared that you can print out and give to everybody who comes along. And we also have some delicious recipes. So these are from our website. We've chosen these recipes because they're great things to share.
Yeah.
They are crowd pleasing, they are family pleasing, and I've tested both of these recipes on my kids and I've had thumbs up. So yeah, you'll go through the guide and you'll see all of the recipes, and there are 2 that we are preparing tonight, which we can talk about in a minute. But yeah, you can download that.
The beauty, I think, of this type of fundraising is that you can, when you get people from your workplace that are not plant-based, they get to know a little bit about what this is all about, and they can taste it. So that's really a nice, gentle way to talk to people that are not so familiar.
And there's no better way of convincing people that plant-based food is delicious by having them actually try it. I mean, that's how I got into this way of eating and doing cooking demonstrations and developing recipes, is to show people actually we eat delicious food.
Yeah.
We eat it in plentiful amounts. We don't need to restrict our portion size. And yeah, it's delicious. So it's a good way to share. What we probably should talk about is the recipes that we're doing.
Sure.
So there are 2 recipes. One of them is a main dish called Neatballs. So this was my version of meatballs. I had these before I went plant-based. I had these delicious meatballs at an Italian friend's house, and they were amazing. And then as I turned plant-based, I thought, how am I going to recreate this? So I developed this recipe using kidney beans and other things, and obviously it's not exactly the same, but it's got some beautiful flavors and beautiful textures.
Yes.
And yeah, I really enjoy it. So they're my meatballs. And also we are making, we're going to do a garlicky mash with this. So garlicky mashed potatoes and a tomato-based sauce as well. So the other recipe we're doing is called a carrot cake baked oatmeal.
Yep.
And this can be delicious as a breakfast, obviously. I'm sending it to school with my kids as a snack.
Yeah. Easy.
Yep, easy and delicious. So I'm just checking my list to make sure I haven't forgotten anything.
And the beauty is that you can make a lot, freeze what you don't use. And so, you know, the effort is just limited.
And I think it would probably keep in the fridge. Let's say you kept it in its baking dish, I would say at least 5 days, because it's baked.
Yeah.
That helps sterilize things a little bit.
But in the freezer, you go a lot longer.
Yeah, for a long time. So, all right, let's get started. So, is anybody in the background? You can raise your hands. Anybody cooking along? If at any time we're going too fast and you want us to slow down, please let us know as well. But usually we chat along the way, and we'll slow down if we need to. Right, some rolled oats, and there's also some quick oats in here. It's just a bit of a textural thing, just having some of the bigger pieces with the smaller pieces.
Yeah, I was just wondering why that was, because usually I don't store quick oats in my house.
No.
So I thought I would just use the rolled oats. But
yeah, I think the recipe was developed with that in mind, just a difference in texture. And
or maybe a little bit more binding as well.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more cakey.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so put those in the bowl. I'll put all the dry ingredients in first. I've got here some baking powder and baking soda. So I'll just sprinkle that in. Spices. Now you can go crazy with the spices. You can add more or less depending on your taste, but this is ground ginger and mixed spice. So mixed spice obviously has a whole lot of things in it. If you'd rather separate it out and do nutmeg and cloves and cinnamon and different things, you're welcome to. But definitely.
Oatmeal is really good for breakfast. It's very high in fiber. It's very satiating. Has a lot of good nutrients. So
I have them pretty much every day, and I think you do too.
Yeah.
I do like to buy organic oats. Well, we can talk about organic versus non-organic. But I just feel like they're a cereal crop, and a lot of them are sprayed quite heavily, so having organic is probably better. I do have mine with grated carrot almost every day. People think I'm a bit weird. I like to add vegetables to my breakfast, and I also do like finely sliced kale and all sorts of things just to add the extra nutrition. But I've always got berries. Always.
Yeah.
Berries.
Any berry, and especially blueberries, have very healthy components for us, as in antioxidants, cancer-fighting properties. So, yeah.
And they're lovely and sweet. They're very high in fiber too. I think
Yes,
I heard
yes.
recently that raspberries are one of the highest fiber fruits.
And buy them frozen, so, you know, they don't go off. And it's a little bit more affordable than buying them.
So definitely.
Yeah, just
I mean, even though they're in season right
fresh,
now,
yeah.
they are still fairly expensive.
So what are you adding?
So in this bowl here, I've got a couple of mashed bananas that were very ripe. So I go to the Adelaide Central Market here in Adelaide and I buy a whole bunch of bananas for 99 cents a kilo or something, and they're always overripe. And I love them because I'll freeze them. This was actually frozen and I defrosted them.
Okay.
And I've added some soy milk and a little bit of tahini to that. Just gives it a nice flavour. I'm just mixing that through. Now, a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Yeah.
That helps activate the bicarbon baking powder. So put that in there. And flax seeds.
Yeah.
You want to talk about those?
Yeah. So flax seeds, you have to brown them to get the benefit of them because they are very hard and pass through our system if you don't ground them just as they are. So that's not a good thing. So these are ground flax seeds. They have quite a high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids and low in the omega-6, and that is what we want. And the flax seed, you can use it also as in baking, etc., as an egg replacement. They call it a flax egg. So if you've got like a tablespoon of flaxseed meal and 3 tablespoons of water, that resembles 1 egg.
Yeah.
So it's very easy.
So yeah, you just substitute eggs for flax in any.
So it's binding.
Yep. So I'm going to add this wet mix now to the oats. In like that.
Yep.
It's probably delicious on its own. All right. Now we have the other wet ingredients, which is the other cup or so of soy milk. Now, soy milk I tend to prefer in this house. We buy a lot of soy milk. The one that we get, is this one here. It's the Vitasoy Protein Plus. It has a very short ingredients list, basically. Some soy milks you look at have so many additives because it's about mouthfeel and flavour and if it frosts really well if you're making coffee and if it splits. But basically this one is just whole soybeans. That's something you want to look for. Water and a couple of other things in there as well, but really nothing, like 4 or 5 ingredients, that's it.
Yeah.
Also bonsai is beautiful. Soy has a lot of health benefits as well.
Yeah. So it is, the soybean in itself is one of the beans that is fairly high in fat compared to the other beans. But having said that, I mean, if you don't overdo it, that's fine. It has so many health benefits. Of course, we all know the supposable downsides, as in the phytoestrogens and that type of thing. But these now, that has been basically debunked. It has been shown to be very beneficial, actually, for people in the prevention of breast cancer or even the recurrence after they have had breast cancer. Because it basically, the phytoestrogens are so weak that actually they work as a blockade for our stronger estrogens that we produce ourselves.
And it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
And we did actually do a social media post recently on soy and preventing the reoccurrence of breast cancer. There's still more studies coming out just showing it's beneficial. So this is quite a wet mix, but when you see it bake, all of that moisture will get soaked up. So I'm going to add to that some chopped up dates. So dates are one of my favorite things for adding a sweetness. I find that, I'd much rather have this than a refined sugar.
Yeah, it's the whole fruit. Right?
Yeah.
What I never knew is that if you buy the dates, that's the whole fruit. It's not a dried fruit.
Yeah, it ripens like this on the actual palm tree.
Yeah.
These have had the pips obviously taken out of them. And when I was at the supermarket today choosing them, I tried to get some that were not too soft. When you look at the box of dates, there are like the hard, firm ones that are a bit more wrinkly, and then you get the really squishy ones. I like them for different reasons, but this one I wanted to have sort of chunks, whole chunks. So I got the more firm dates today.
So these are not medjool, or?
Yes, they are.
Oh, they are medjool.
Yes, and I'd rather buy them from the fresh food section, medjool dates, than the packet ones, because the packet ones are often covered with oil, and that can be rancid, and it's also it's to stop them from sticking to each other, and it's really not a necessary ingredient. So, all right, we've got some walnuts here.
Walnuts, from all the nuts. You have to be careful with nuts because very, very high in fat content. So if the goal is to lose weight, or for heart disease, or type 2 diabetes, the high fat content can be problematic. But like a little handful of nuts in a day is fine. The walnuts have a very high content also of omega-3s compared to omega-6. So that's for me the reason that it is the favorite nut.
Yeah, I prefer to eat walnuts too. Now these are some raisins, and again they're oil free. So you go to the supermarket and there's packets of raisins.
Yeah.
I bought these from a local health food shop that you can tell that they're without oil, because if you put them in a little paper bag in a health food shop, they don't have all the spots on the bag, so it's not leaching out oil. Sorry.
But also in like Coles or Woolworths, etc., you can buy.
You can,
but you have to look carefully. But I think it's not the Sunbeam brand or so has also one that is without any oil. It's called,
okay.
Yeah, natural. It's called like natural raisins or so.
Again, that's very good. I spent a lot of time reading ingredients in the supermarket. Now, the last thing, or second to last thing, is some carrot. That's about a cup of carrot.
Shredded.
Yeah. Now, you don't have to peel it. A lot of the nutrition is in the skin, so we can leave it on. All right. We'll get the berries out of the freezer in a minute, but that's pretty much it. That looks good.
Yep. Bacon tray.
My baking tray. So when I practiced this recipe, I used a much smaller baking tray. It was fine, but they were quite, I guess, tall and dense. I wanted it to be a little bit more spread out this time. So I've got quite a big baking dish. And the best way it's hard to get your baking paper in there. So I'm going to go like this.
Clamp it up.
And then it just fits a little bit nicer in the baking dish and not pop out.
Yeah. It's got to be good, isn't it? Good trick.
Yeah. And it makes it look a bit more rustic as well. All right, so we'll pour this in there. Now, you want to spread it out or get the berries out?
Already looking great. Really?
You could actually have this as an overnight oat. You don't even need to bake it. You could just put them in little jars or little bowls and put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And it would be beautiful the next day. The oats soak up all of the soy milk. Okay, so these are beautiful just mixed berries. I think the recipe says 1.5 cups, but I'm just gonna wing it.
Eyeball it.
Yeah. There's beautiful raspberries, blackberries. If you can go out and pick your own berries at this time of year, that'd be fantastic too. What do you think? Yeah, enough to pour a little bit over here.
And then press in a little bit.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's ready to go in.
Easy.
All right, beautiful. How's everybody going at home? Anybody cooking along? Any questions? You can just type it in the chat if you need to. All right.
Goes in. And what does it say? Oven 180 degrees Celsius and 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to use it as a breakfast, you can put it in a bowl and add, some milk to it. But then you've got like a cake, oat cake with milk as a breakfast.
So once it comes out the oven, it's going to need some time to sort of harden a little bit more. So I put it in the fridge overnight, and next day you can slice it. It's still going to be quite soft, but it's delicious. So I will show you that. That's why I've prepared it before, because it has a bit of time to cook. Okay, excellent. Right, next recipe. Let's get on with it. I hope everybody's got it in the oven. I don't see anybody putting a hand up and see some familiar names there. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Now, meatballs on garlicky mashed potatoes. What are we doing, Heleen? We're going to make the meatballs first. Yeah.
And that's going to be in the
Food process.
Yeah.
So I don't want to puree this mix. I'm just going to pulse it just to sort of combine everything. So pop everything in there at once. So we've got a can. We're going to talk about the kidney beans.
Yeah.
These are red kidney beans. In there.
So what you can maybe read is that it is organic. Well, if you can't find organic, then that's fine as well.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can often find the no added salt. So it's just beans and water. That's what you want. So again, if you can't find it, then rinse the beans a little bit longer. You won't get rid of all of the salt, but maybe 40, 50%.
Yeah. And organic versus non-organic, it doesn't really matter with this sort of thing, I don't think. If you can afford organic, great. But I think the overall message with any type of produce is you're better off eating the beans, the whole grains, the fruits, vegetables in a conventional form and just washing them rather than, avoiding them.
Yeah.
Okay. This is some quinoa flakes. So you can just get this as a normal supermarket. If you can't find them, you can use just rolled oats if you are okay with that.
But I mean, the oats can have gluten for people that are 100% avoiding gluten.
Yeah.
And that's why quinoa flakes are a good substitute. But if that's not a problem for you, then the oats are fine as well.
Yeah.
Tomato paste.
Right, I'm just going to grab, I can do this. Right, just a couple of
tablespoons. Yeah.
That just gives it a little bit of flavour.
Then we've got flaxseed again. It can also be chia seeds. It's fairly comparable.
Yeah.
Grated carrots.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then what's next? Okay, so these are the flavour elements now. So this is a really, if you were to blend this and bake it in the oven, they're going to be pretty boring. So you need to add some really nice umami and the aromatics and the delicious flavours. So we've got a little bit of miso. In the recipe, I wrote red miso, but that was, we got garlic first.
Yeah.
With miso, I just want to mention that the colour doesn't matter so much. You can use any colour that you might have. I try and find unpasteurized miso, just have a little bit more of those sort of probiotic benefits.
Yeah.
But also make sure you read the label, because some miso has a fish product called bonito, so you want to avoid that.
Okay, that's the miso.
That adds a really nice, a little bit of saltiness, but that real umami kind of texture, flavour as well.
This is garlic and onion powder together.
Yeah.
In this little dish. And then here's a beautifully done.
Look at the colours of the spices.
So that is a combination of the dried rosemary, cumin, turmeric powder, and smoked paprika.
So that adds some beautiful flavours and also health benefits. I mean, I originally created the recipe. It doesn't really need turmeric for colour, but I just wanted it for its anti-inflammatory properties. So anytime you can add turmeric or ginger or something like that to a dish.
Yeah. Also onion and and the garlic. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, just going to pause this and I'll take a while. You want to see sort of chunks of kidney bean still. I think that's enough.
That's quick. Yeah.
So this is the fun part. This is where you get the kids out of their bedrooms and say, come give me a hand, and start rolling up some balls. Heleen's going to have the clean fingers and she's going to do the coating. Put that there. So I've chosen to use almond flour as a coating. You could use a breadcrumb if you can find something, or even make it yourself out of stale bread. But this has just a nice sort of crunchy texture to the outside. Also, you can buy something on the market called rice crumbs, which is just brown rice. I think it's probably cooked and crumbled up, and that adds a really nice crunchy texture as well. You just grab me a tablespoon out of that drawer and start rolling. Now, we're a team of 2, so this will probably won't take too long. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Just about a walnut size like this, so sort of squash it up a little bit. And I'll just pop it next for you. You can roll that around. And we will get through the batch. Now, I have already made one before, so you get to see it already cooked. Now, any questions from the audience at this stage? I can see Rena's cooking along. I'm in her kitchen. Hi, Rena. I wonder who else is cooking along too. I can't see everyone from here on my screen, so that's okay. I'm sure you're all there. Now, mouse here. Okay, so just sharing the recipes. I was just looking in the chat. The other thing that we should talk about while we have a moment is our beautiful aprons. You might have noticed that we have beautiful DFN aprons. And they're available now. So we've got a new online store. We haven't launched it officially yet. You're first to know. And you can buy your own apron. These are in navy. They'll also be available in black. And they have a great pocket here at the front. You can stick your whatever you need to, your mobile phone. And they're quite adjustable, which I like as well. So yeah, beautiful DFN aprons with our logo. We've also got t-shirts. We've got a couple of different styles. We've got women's more tapered fit. We've got a unisex or men's, which is more of a straight cut. Beautiful fabrics and really good quality. And
some different colors.
Yeah, we've got white, navy, and black as well. Whereas previously when we've had t-shirts for sale, they've just been in black. But this one is a on-demand print service. So basically you go to the website, you order what you like, and it'll be printed and sent to you directly. All different sizes, I think, though. I just looked at the women's t-shirts. They range from small to 3XL, and the men's the same. So yeah, lots of different sizes. We also have like a hoodie as well on the shop. Obviously, this time of year, we're not thinking about wearing that, but I'm sure it won't take long and we'll be wearing some sort of jumpers again. What else have we got on the shop? Oh, a cap and a tote bag, because everybody loves a tote bag. So please go and check that out. I think Louisa was going to share that in the chat. How's everybody going with their rolling?
My hair is really beautiful yellow.
Yeah, look at the turmeric now.
Yeah.
In my hands. Wouldn't be the first time I have my hands stained with turmeric. I've done like a turmeric fermented vegetable mix before, and you get in there and you massage your hands. And it was fresh turmeric that I grated. And I think I had stains in my.
You need gloves.
Yeah, I know, but I'll think about that later.
Yeah.
And I'm often peeling, slicing beetroot, and then think, well, some gloves on that. Anyway,
so with all the spices, it has really a healthy component. So most people know, I think now, about the turmeric, that has a very high anti-inflammatory capacity. And if you then add a little bit of black pepper, then that's what I actually did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a little bit of black pepper, then the bioavailability, as they call it, of that curcumin that is so healthy increases like
1,000-fold.
I think it's like 20 times or so,
Oh, okay.
which is then 2000%.
Yes.
And that is where the 1,000 comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but many times. So it's always good. I use the turmeric in my morning oats as well. Also cloves because they are so healthy. Cinnamon, and it's tasty. I like these spices, but I always add a little bit of black pepper as well. When I started doing it, I thought, is that going to, in breakfast? I don't taste it because you don't need a lot. It's just a little bit of the pepperine of the black pepper and combined with the curcumin gives it that boost in bioavailability.
Yep. I do like a turmeric latte. Both Heleen and I have a turmeric latte every day too. And I have been to some cafes before and they've done just overloaded pepper and it's like hot. You don't need that. So don't be scared off by that combination.
Oh.
Okay.
Done.
Excellent. I'm just going to wash my hands.
Easy. So 3, 2, 4, 6, 18.
That's pretty good. And I didn't do them very small either.
No, they're a little bit bigger.
It's nice to have them, I guess I call this walnut size because if they're too small, they're going to go quite dry. If they're too big, well, I guess you'll get less of them.
Yeah.
This I make for a family of 4 and it's plenty for all of us.
Yep.
Right, just cleaning up a little bit. Get those in the oven.
You need that again.
Yeah. Okay, how's everybody going? See some people still busy in the kitchen. Good, thumbs up, excellent. Take time, if you're still rolling, that's fine. We can demonstrate the next part. So I'm not going to wash this, don't need to. I need to find my components. Okay, put the blade back in. We're going to make the tomato paste sauce now. Thank you. So just some chopped tomatoes. You can use, Heleen, you said you used whole tomatoes.
I just had whole tomatoes and that because you cut it up in the food process, it doesn't really matter.
Sorry, were they fresh tomatoes or whole tomatoes in the can?
Whole tomatoes in the can.
Okay. Yep, that was right.
So, Rebecca, you're making double the recipe at the moment.
I am doubling this recipe because I like staying for dinner. And I know my family will eat a lot, so that's fine. Now, next ingredient is some dried oregano. I grow oregano and I dry it every year, but we go through so much. But again, it's got lots of health benefits for oils and oregano are that healthy. Pop that in. Some crushed garlic as well.
Hi, Rebecca and Heleen. Hi, it's Karen here. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Karen.
Just have a message here from another Karen, actually, just wanting to know if it's possible to cook the Neatballs in the air fryer.
Definitely, yes. If you have an air fryer, they're beautiful. Because the kidney beans are already cooked, it's not like you need to sort of cook the inside so much. It's more about browning the outside. I've got an air fryer. It's not a very big capacity. I could probably fit maybe 8 of these in there at a time. So yeah, definitely air fryer. I love for giving that crispy texture on the outside quite quickly. And I think when you eat whole food plant-based and you are avoiding oils and avoiding deep fried food, which is very health promoting to avoid that, sometimes I miss that crunch. I mean, we get crunch in salads and different vegetables and fruits, but having it in something like this just adds a nice texture. Okay. We've got
maple syrup.
A little bit of maple syrup. So the reason I put this in is just to take off the acidity of the tomatoes because we don't cook this for very long. If you're cooking a tomato sauce and you're leaving it on the stove for hours and hours and it's got all these beautiful herbs and things, that's great. But, this is a quick weekday meal. You can have this on the table as long as the potatoes cook and the meatballs are cooked, maybe 20, 30 minutes. It's quite quick. So Now, the herbs. And I know the recipe says parsley. I've got plentiful basil at the moment, so I'm going to put some basil in this one. I'm just going to whiz it up with everything else. Now, that's it. Haven't left anything out.
That's all for the tomato sauce.
Hopefully this doesn't go everywhere. All right, that's it. It's really just to chop up the herbs and incorporate all the ingredients. Now I'm going to put this in a saucepan, get it cooking on the stove.
So there's, you know, garlic in the meatballs and in the sauce, and as you will see in the potatoes as well, garlic is very healthy, very strong antioxidant, and that's from the allium family. So it's garlic, onions, all type of onions, like the chives or the leek, etc. And adding them in, I add it in every day in my meals. So we'll always have a little bit of garlic and some type of onion to get the benefits. With garlic, if you chop it, then an enzyme will be released that will make more of these antioxidants. That's why it's helpful to chop it up and let it rest for about 10 minutes. And then you will have a lot more of the antioxidants. Then chop it up and then heat it straight away. So once that enzyme has had the time to do its work, then you can heat it and you don't lose it anymore.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And it's so good for you too.
Yeah.
I know that in Michael Greger's book, both How Not to Diet and How Not to Age, he talks about garlic a lot.
Yeah.
And even garlic in its powder form
Yeah.
can be really, because you know, you're getting a real hit of garlic because it's so concentrated. It's going to be really good too. All right, let's put the lid on. It's all right. It's bubbling away there. I'm just going to let the tomato sauce cook for a little while and start off. It really just needs to warm or boil for a while. It doesn't need to do a lot of cooking. So, okay. So, anybody's cooking along? Do you need me to slow down or looks okay? All right. Now, we're going to mash the potatoes. We all know how to mash potatoes. Not rocket science. I've pre-cooked my potatoes because just wanted to get it on the table fairly quickly. Now, I cut them up fairly small and I left the skin on. So these were the red skinned potatoes.
Yep.
Just for that little bit more antioxidants as well. It's probably
So we
okay.
have something to.
Yeah. Just let it bubble for a second.
I'll just turn it down.
Yeah, I would turn it on. There's a bit of a volcano happening over here. It's bubbling and bubbling. So whenever I choose a vegetable or a fruit, I try and get the colourful variety. Like let's say a red onion versus a white onion, red potato or a sweet potato versus white potato. It's all healthy and it's all health promoting. But you know, if you can maximize every bite that you take has got the maximum amount of nutrition, that's going to be better for you.
Yeah, because the color means other phytonutrients. So you get a little bit more of a spectrum of different phytonutrients, plant nutrients in your diet. But sometimes, you know, you've got a recipe and you need the white potatoes because also of the color, or the white onion. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, use whatever you got. But if you go to the supermarket and you're sort of deciding, and again, cabbage the same. I always have red cabbage. I call it. My daughter's saying, "Mom, it's not red, it's purple." Whatever. Over like a green or a soy cabbage, but they're all health promoting.
Yep.
So we're going to give this a quick mash. Now we have some nutritional yeast and some garlic going to go in this, but also a splash of soy milk just to sort of get it moving. Put a bit of that in. I'm not going to measure it. I know the recipe says half cup, but I've got quite a few potatoes here, so I'll add a bit more if I need to.
And I love the garlic with the potatoes.
Yeah, isn't it a good mix?
Oh.
Even though it's, you know, raw, it's going to go into hot potatoes and it will cook a little bit. It just adds, beautiful garlic.
And this is nutritional yeast. So if you don't want nutritional yeast, some people react a little bit to it sometimes. So you don't have to use it. the garlic and the potatoes in itself is already good.
But it does add a cheesiness to the potatoes. So, when people first change to this way of eating, it takes a little while for taste buds to adapt. And one of the things people miss the most is cheese, I find. So having something that's a little bit cheesy or a bit of a substitute for cheese can help them in the transition.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with yeast, but I know some people don't like it that much,
and some people have an allergy to gluten. Even if it's yeast in bread. So you can avoid it. You don't need to put this in. I do a few cheese-based sauces. I know there's somebody right there who came to my cooking class on the weekend, and I did a creamy cheese dip. And so it was basically based on potato and vegetables like capsicum, onion, and carrot. I put nutritional yeast for that cheesiness. Okay, thank you. I'm not speaking Finnish. Thank you, Zoom. Oh, that's weird. I'm just going to get rid of that. Now, also you had, so for the creaminess, like a lot of people use cashews in a creamy sauce. They're delicious, and they have some delicious and healthy things about them. But I tend to try and avoid a lot of fat, so I just put a little bit of sunflower seeds in this sauce that I made, and it was quite delicious. And I've made the same sauce for kids at schools and put it on like as a macaroni cheese sauce.
Oh, yeah.
And they loved it. All right. Getting there. I'm not going to do this a really fine mash. I like
but a little bit chunky.
A bit of a chunky mash. Yeah.
Sorry, Rebecca, again. Just another question here from Judy, wondering if the garlic was fresh and uncooked.
Yes,
garlic.
it was. Yeah, it was fresh. It's going to be quite garlicky, but that's okay. We're all friends here. I probably smell like garlic all the time. I don't mind because it's good for you. So it was uncooked. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about is that we haven't added salt to this. I didn't add salt in the boiling process. We tend to eat quite low salt. That obviously is much better for you, especially if you've got high blood pressure. But that's another thing in the Michael Greger's new book, How Not to Age, is there's a lot of talk about salt. So the higher salt diet you have, which is in processed foods and fast foods, the more you're going to age. I would rather have people have salt at the table. So if we make this sort of food and people find that, oh, I need a little bit of salt on the top, that's okay, because the salt's on the surface and it's hitting your tongue straight away, and you don't need nearly as much.
Yeah, absolutely. In principle, we don't need to add any sodium to our food because all the plants have a certain amount of sodium, which is enough for us. So there is no need. And sometimes we say, okay, I'm not adding salt, but I'm using tanari or soy sauce or miso. Of course, you're adding salt at that point in time. Yeah. So and sometimes you need it, but you want it for a little bit of the particular flavor. And if there are no health problems that tell you not to use it, then that's fine. But not as a routine, adding salt to everything that you're eating.
And I think
that's better.
Salt as well as sugar is one of those things that your taste buds become accustomed to. So, if you're eating out quite often, or if you're eating processed foods or packet foods and you're eating fast foods, then there's going to be a lot more salt, oil, and sugar in those than you would ever use at home. So, try not to do that as often.
And salt makes you eat more. Yeah. So if you have something that is salted, you want more. Yeah. And so that's for a lot of these salted things, not a good thing.
But also, I guess we talk about transitioning to this way of eating.
Yeah.
And slowly reducing things can help. And if salt is one of those things, then sure, have it at the table as a seasoning, but maybe slowly remove it.
Yeah, and I think most people have the experience of, as a child, having sugar in tea, or later, if you're a little bit older, in coffee, and then you want to get off of the sugar. And in the beginning, there's absolutely no tasteful, but if you're not using any sugar in your coffee anymore, and now you get a coffee with sugar, then now you don't like that anymore. So
Yeah.
taste buds change.
They do.
They adapt.
And I would rather use something like a date, like we've done today, to give you that sweet because it has all the fiber, all the nutrients locked up in it. There's a fantastic recipe on our website by Peter Johnson. He's one of our advisory council dietitians. That's a turmeric latte, and I think it's got a couple of dates in there as well. He blends it up with all the turmeric and the soy milk, and it's delicious. So look at that for a pot of potatoes. That looks pretty good. So I think what we're going to do is plate up this meal. Where are we? We still have a little bit of time, and then we can have a look at the baked oatmeal and see how that's going.
So would you really need that as in microwave? Because now it's cold.
Well, actually, it's still quite warm.
Oh, it's still warm.
I cooked the potatoes just before. You could do it on the stove top and just move it through with a wooden spoon to reheat it.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I've heard from Mum to hear, still 33 degrees outside here in Adelaide. It got up to 41 here in my garden today. So I'm happy with not steaming hot potatoes. Can I just grab something out of this roll? Okay, so a little bit of potato on the plate. So this is my beautiful, not very expensive plate, but I love it. I use this a lot in my food photography. So the way I like to do it, and you know, you don't need to use potatoes. If you'd rather have like a wholemeal pasta, or we really like pulse pasta. In this house, you can get it made out of chickpeas and lentils and all sorts of things. You can do that instead, but I'm just gonna.
And if you think, oh, that's a lot of work, you can just have some boiled potatoes and crush them a little bit and have everything on top of that. So it doesn't have to be exactly like this.
And this sort of meal you could prepare in advance. Let's say you wanted to have it throughout the week, which I think you did. You said you made a big batch and then you had every night you just do a little bit. It reheats really well. So
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
It's very satiating. It's a really comforting meal with the meatballs and the potatoes. Yeah. So it's absolutely something that I would suggest try it out.
And when I was choosing this recipe for doing tonight, it was probably 20 degrees, and we thought, oh, yeah, that'd be delicious. And now it's good. Yes.
Please.
Yep. I'm get another spoon now. Yeah. There we go.
These have been in the oven.
So they don't take very long. I think these were in there for about 15 minutes. They don't go very dark. These have got a little bit of brown on the bottom. They will crack a little bit as they dry out, but it's just getting a really nice crunchy coating. So we'll put a few of those on. As many as you like, depending on how hungry you are. Right, let's go like that. And we're going to put a little bit of our tomato sauce. Drizzle that on. Much as you like. Now, in the recipe, I also have just some lightly toasted pine nuts, just for that little bit of crunch and flavour on the top. Go. And I will just grab some butter. Summer's an excellent time for basil, so I'd like to make the most of it. I'll take some photos of this and share it tomorrow with everyone. But how beautiful does that look? Can you see? Does that look edible and delicious, and the sauce is steaming? It looks amazing.
Beautiful.
Whoever's making it at home, I would love to hear what you think once you've had a go and tried it. Because yeah, I think it's pretty tasty. My family really enjoys it, and it's my substitute for a meatball. And legumes, we probably should talk about too, how important legumes are.
So this has basically everything that you want. If you would like some more leafy greens, what I did the other day is have some arugula leaves underneath, then the potatoes, etc. So on a bed of a salad, it can be anything, but I love arugula, so
Yeah,
it's what
so
I.
this is a main meal. Then you'll have a side of some sort of greens, or you can serve it on greens.
Yeah.
There are lots of recipes on our website for salads and sauteed greens as well. I quite often either lightly steam or saute some kale and have it with whatever I'm having. Just love the texture. So yeah, absolutely delicious.
And the breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast is so good. Now, have a look at this. See how it looks. Oh yeah, it's amazing. I'll put it straight on my little shop.
Heavy.
Yes, it's actually quite substantial, this dish. That's amazing. All right.
Yeah. So where you can.
I want to get that off the tray.
Rebecca and Heleen, we have Mark
Yes.
asking if you do Uber Eats by any chance.
Well, I'm sure I won't live that far away from you, Mark. You can always come and have a taste. All right. So this is, you can see how good is that? Can you smell that? Smell the spices and the berries. The berries have obviously defrosted and they've sort of oozed out their juices, and it looks amazing. I might even put like a little dusting of cinnamon over the top of this.
Yeah. Can people see it? Yeah.
I don't want to tip it.
No, don't tip it.
It'll go everywhere. But yeah, it's risen a little bit. Still quite soft in the middle, but I think it will firm up once it sits in the fridge for a little while.
Already browned a little bit.
Yeah.
Could maybe go in the oven a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably half an hour. I could give it another 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
That looks beautiful. So I wonder
Tempting.
if anybody else has created one of those tonight. If you do, yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback if you enjoyed it. This will last our family for probably at least 5 days of breakfast and snacks. It's such a substantial, really healthy, so filling. Both of these meals are satiating, which means that you're not going to get hungry between meals and start snacking on things. So yeah.
My breakfast is like a cup of oatmeal, rolled oats, and then with the berries and everything, and 3 hours, close to 4 hours, definitely for me.
Yeah.
Before I get hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And this way of eating is great because you can have that larger portions. It's lower in calorie density, higher in nutrient density. Much better for you. So the other thing I was going to talk about before we sign off was obviously beautiful aprons. Please go to our online store. We will be sharing that through our subscriber list. So if you haven't subscribed, if you've come into this cooking demo through maybe a Facebook group or something like that, please go to our website and subscribe, because otherwise you'll miss out on some of our content that we only send to our subscribers. Also, if you've subscribed before but you're not getting our newsletters, please let us know. Sometimes there can be a glitch in the matrix and you don't get them, but we can fix that up for you. Now, lastly, Plant-iful Plates. Go onto our website, have a look at the website, download this guide, how to go about holding your own. Again, we'd love some feedback if you do it and you have photos, tag us in Instagram and Facebook. And if you tag us, I see it because I'm the social media lead, and I will share it, and we can sort of start spreading the message. We want to just let everybody know that this way of eating is
and
amazing.
at the same time help us, raise some funds for the work that we are doing.
Yeah, we're not a big team. We do a lot of work between us, and we want to keep going as long as we can. Now, also there is a DFN health challenge which will be launched soon. So you might have heard about end of last year we held Doctor's Health Challenge, which was an amazing challenge and it was really successful. We had bunches of doctors and medical professionals joining us, and they followed a whole food plant-based diet, and they did it. So the program is 4 weeks, but the first week is like a transition week. So you start learning.
Yeah, you can dive in straight away if you wish. But if you want to explore a little bit, you can use the first week doing that.
Was there a question? No? Sorry, thought I had something. Anyway, yeah, it'll be launched soon. So make sure you subscribe to find out. I'll be sharing it through social media as well. It's a way of just increasing your health. You might already be plant-based. You could tweak little things to be more health promoting, but definitely get on board, and yeah, that'll be on the website soon.
And lots of information that comes along with it.
Yep. And it's also a fantastic resource for doctors to recommend to their patients. I don't know if there's any health professionals following us tonight, but if you have a doctor, a patient who might have diabetes, or they might need to, you know, shed some excess weight, or any other health issues, particularly cardiac issues, you can get them onto this program, and yeah, they can see the benefits for themselves. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to the website to find out more. So, any other questions? How's everybody going in the background? Who's been cooking along? I can't see Rena. Oh, there she is. Yeah. It's so exciting that there's actually people out there that are going to be having this for dinner as well. I know we are. We're going to be enjoying this pretty soon. The kids are locked in their bedrooms and they're getting pretty hungry. We eat early in this house, so this is a late dinner for us. But yeah, let us know what you thought, and share this with your friends. We're going to make this video available so everybody can watch it in the coming days.
One final question for you, Rebecca, from Karen again, just wondering if the baked carrot oatmeal is firm enough to eat as a bar, or is it more of a softer texture?
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I might put this back in the oven. It's a little bit squidgy in the middle still. It will cut like a solid, I mean, it's not like a muesli bar, like really hard and crunchy, but it will definitely cut as a solid bar. Yeah. When I cut it up afterwards, because this is the big thing, like even our family of 4 is, you know, probably not going to get through this in a week. We would probably freeze portions of it. Slices beautifully. Once it sets in the fridge, that's a good thing about oats. They have this type of fibre, great for our gut and our digestion, great for helping eliminate cholesterol as well. But it also means it has that texture, so it has that beautiful firmness to it. So, yeah. Any other questions? Any comments? Anybody getting hungry? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Really excited to see if you host your own Plant-iful Plates. I'll be doing one here, and I'll share some pictures and some things of that with everyone. But yeah, thanks again for coming along, and it's been really nice chatting like this.
Yes, absolutely. Wishing you all lots of success with all of this, and start planning and organizing one of your Plant-iful Plates meetups.
Yep. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out. We have emails on our website, and we're happy to chat to anyone. So thank you. All right, we'll sign off.
Bye, everyone.